All right. Well, we are SOTU, and we would like to speak to you today about karma. In order to speak to you about karma, you must understand that in the dynamic of the explanation, we are putting into linear terms a quantum dynamic. Once one passes out of a physical body, one passes from that linear timeline, that linear experience, into a quantum reality. A quantum reality where every moment is experienced as now, where there is no past, no present, no future, only now. The experiences that one has when one passes over have been put into many different religious texts, have been put into many different forms, have been put into many different, what shall we say, dogmatic explanations in order to make sense of a quantum experience through a linear realities lens. And so we wish to explain to you, and can only explain to you because we are speaking to you through a channel in a linear timeline, a quantum dynamic that occurs, and we wish to explain it to you through language in a linear fashion. And so we are going to speak metaphorically, and yet we would wish you to get a picture in your mind's eye, in your heart, of what it's really like when you pass over. You live a lifetime with all of its pain, with all of its suffering, with all of its dynamics of hurt. You pass over with all of your fears and all of your rage and all of your pain. You pass over, and the first thing that you begin to experience is exactly what you believe you are going to experience. So if you have a great fear of death and fear the dynamic that you are going to have to pay judgment, that you are going to suffer the wrath of God for all of your sins because Lord knows you have not been able to have been perfect. If you feel that, you will go on a journey. And the first part of your journey is a journey of remembrance. Yes, you will remember the things that have occurred in your life, the things that you have perpetrated and the things that you have suffered. And you will have that dynamic of a remembrance, but it will also be an emotional remembrance, an emotional remembrance that occurs in a moment. Now, let's say you pass over with a great fear of death because you fear judgment because you have not been able to be perfect in your life. If that is the case, then you will pass on and you will go through an experience of one great experience of fear, one great experience of remorse, one great experience of all of the emotional dynamics that you have had in that lifetime. Just like many of you, many who suffer a near death experience, in that moment before they think they are going to die, their whole life flashes before their eyes in a linear fashion. So too, when one passes over, that experience occurs, but in an emotional sense. And it is that period, that space, that people judge as going to hell. But in fact, there is no hell. And even the most fundamental believer in dynamics will come to the edge of a precipice, will be looking down into the precipice, fearing that they are about to be drawn in, and they will be spending the eternity burning in hell until your higher self taps you on the shoulder and says, That's not real, by the way. Now, it might not be your higher self that taps you on the shoulder. It might be a relative, a guide, a friend, someone that you recognize. But they will take you in an embrace, and you will begin to remember your connection. And you will begin to remember who you really are. Your guide, your higher self, your guardian angel will then take you to a place of healing where you will heal your wounds from the previous lifetime. And on the other side of that healing is a place and an experience which we cannot possibly describe to you. But it is one of knowing, a knowing of joy, a knowing of connection, a knowing of real love, unconditional love. For you, dear ones, you are divine beings, now manifested in a physical experience. But you will remember your divinity. You will remember your connection to all that is. You will know that you belong and that you all are one. So you have passed over and you have faced your hell and you have found your heaven and you spend and have as much experience as you wish in that reality. But just like everything else, even paradise can become boring after a while. And so we would suggest you that eventually you will be motivated to begin to consider your next lifetime. And that consideration of that lifetime will include your higher self, your soul, perhaps some other well-known and well-respected guides and friends. And together you will sit down and you as an individual spirit, you as an individual spark of consciousness will make some decisions and decide what you wish to learn in your next lifetime. Your higher self, your soul, your other guides, certainly they are going to remind you of certain dynamics in order to keep you from being too, what shall we say, excited. Because part of the problem with being on the other side is, and being out of time, that one forgets certain experiences, certain emotional experiences, certain negative emotional experiences that are really only possible within the dualistic physical reality. Which is the reason that most of you incarnate in the first place, is to have that experience of that reality so that you may grow, gain more consciousness, gain more wisdom, gain more experience in your lives and in your passing. For in each lifetime, as you learn more, as you move and grow, so does consciousness move and grow. And so, you will choose your mother, you will choose your father, you will choose your antagonists, you will choose your lovers, you will choose your life lesson. Now, let's use an easy one for now. Let's just use the life lesson of love. Now, we like to say just because you're dead doesn't necessarily mean you're any smarter than you were when you were alive. And so there is a certain dynamic of passion, a certain dynamic of excitement that is occurring with you, a certain emotional anticipation of your upcoming future lifetime. And here you are. You're deciding that you really wish to learn about love in your life. So, are you going to give yourself loving parents or a loving situation in your earliest years when you are imprinted? Well, no, of course you're not. You're going to give yourself a situation where that love is snatched away early on so that you must spend much of the next lifetime learning about love, all aspects of love, but real love, not because it is something that is given, but because it is something you need to learn and wish to learn. Now, as we said, just because you're dead doesn't necessarily mean you're any smarter than you were when you were alive. And so often you will give yourselves mountains to climb when a hill would have done, but that is just the nature of the, what shall we say, individual experience. And so here you are. You understand that if you really wish to learn about love in your life, and that love is snatched away early on, then your natural tendency is going to be to shy away from that dynamic. But you must also understand that you have planned your lifetime. You have put in your antagonists. You have put in certain crossroads that you are going to face, certain very important decisions and choices that you are going to have to make in your life, certain confrontations, certain loves that are going to bring you face to face with the dynamics of having to learn about love. And that is a journey that you have chosen. And it is your soul's responsibility to give you those opportunities to continue to grow. So from our perspective, dear ones, karma is the soul's responsibility to give you the opportunities to live the lives that you have chosen to live, to give you the opportunities for the growth necessary to achieve those levels of real love that you really wish to achieve in this lifetime. There is so much more, but for this video, suffice it to say that we love you all, and so until the next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy. We are SOTU, and we love you.